Hello and welcome. I just wondered how you're doing at the moment with all the news about conflicts in the world, wars, and often we read about conflicts in relationships. A lot of media stars, we see their relationships break up, and we see racism a lot in the news as well. All this conflict, human conflict, and it can leave you cynical, and we can easily forget the good in humanity. Well, stay with us for a few moments now as we look at some good news stories from the Good newspaper, which is full of stories in this May edition of people overcoming conflict, as well as a lot of other things as well. It starts off the front page, which is fantastic. It starts off with brothers in open arms, that Ukrainians getting together with Russian ministers, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a few moments. But it's fantastic, and some other great stories in there. But first, let's start with Andy. Andy, what have you found in the paper?
Hi, Colin. Well, as ever, we've got sport on the back page of the paper. You should have sport on the back page of a newspaper. This is a story of a rugby player, one of the greatest rugby players ever. I'll try and pronounce his name correctly. It was Fadilga Tumagla, but he was a New Zealand rugby player. He played both rugby union and rugby league, and at the age of 52, he died earlier this year. But the great thing about this rugby player was he's a big brute of a guy, but he unashamedly told people about his faith in and his love for Jesus Christ. He told people he'd reached a point in his life, and this is an exact quote, where he said, "I needed to be forgiven for all the things I've done wrong." And he came to realise that Jesus Christ, the King of Heaven, could forgive him for all the things he'd done wrong. And he trusted Jesus, and he told other people in the dressing room, he told people on the pitch, he prayed on the pitch. Wherever he went, he just told people about Jesus. Fantastic story of an amazing guy. So sad that he died at the age of 52. But we're reporting that he's gone to heaven because of his faith in Christ. And he told other people that that was the way to heaven as well. So great sports story on the back page about a great rugby player. Colin.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, going back to the front page, there's a fantastic picture there of these two enemies, potential enemies, Ukrainians and Russians, working together, these ministers, providing food for many people. And there's a great quote from the Good newspaper that says, "The love that joins all true Christians around the world is far stronger than national, cultural and political divisions." And history is full of examples of faithful followers of Jesus risking their lives to help others. This is the hope we have through reading the Bible. The Bible tells us the main message is that there is hope through the love of Christ living in us and changing us, and that's the message that gives me the will to carry on, and I hope it does for you as well. And there's other great stories in here of conflict being resolved because of what people have read in the Bible and what they've experienced in their hearts through knowing Jesus. There's a fantastic story of an innocent man who was on death row in America, and he was convicted wrongly and not released for many years, convicted in 85 and not released until 2015, would you believe? And he came across a lot of discrimination, and he could have easily have hated those around, especially some of those in the prison there who were done all sorts of racist acts. But he said he found the means to love them. It's incredible to read this story. He says right at the end here, he says, Jesus didn't say, "Hey, when an enemy comes across you, I want you to hate him." He said, "Love your enemy." And the only way we'll ever conquer hate is with love. That's the only hope for this world of ours, all this conflict. So there's that story. There's another story about relationship issues, and again how the conflict can be so strong there, hate and all sorts of anger, but following the Bible principles and also getting that love from God in your heart, that can change your relationships at home as well. So I do really commend this May edition of Good News to you. Andy, what have you also found?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, follow the links at the end of the video if you'd like a copy. We'll send one to you free of charge. Please do get in touch with us. We'd love to send you one. If you're a Christian, get one and give it away. Maybe you did some evangelism over Easter. This is a perfect way to follow up your evangelism. If you're not sure about your relationship with God, if you don't know whether you know God or not, well, get hold of a copy of this and meet people, read about people who've met Jesus Christ for themselves, and find out how you can as well. So follow the links at the end of the video. We'll send you a copy. Thanks, Colin.
Thank you.